The Fly Fifer podcast. Let's talk. Your chat, your way. This episode is sponsored by J. Couriers, the people who care for your delivery.
Shahur sir, and welcome to another Fly Fifer podcast. Today is one of the days where I've found another gentleman on TikTok, and I've kind of, do you fancy doing a podcast? I like your story. Now, this guy is a multifaceted guy, and we'll get him on the camera in a minute. And what I find interesting with this guy is he's got a very similar story to so many of us dads out there, or dads from fractured families, broken families, however you want to look at it, separated parents, stuff like that. And when I seen some of the things that he was talking about at the time, I thought, that's interesting, that's fucking... And it was like, and then when I got to message Peter, and we sent a couple of messages backward and forward, it was like listening to myself again. It was another guy with the same story, the same set of problems, obviously different lives, never met each other, but the same things happening again and again and again. So I've invited him on to talk about that, and we'll probably bounce back and forth off each other a wee bit about it, because I've been through the same story. But he's, like I said at the start, he's multifaceted, so we're not going to just talk about that, but we'll talk about him and what else. I'll let him describe it, because I'll get all tongue twisted and say all the wrong things. But anyway, welcome to the podcast is Peter Parker Yuill.
Thank you very much.
Ta-da! I wish I was a big fanfare, but please to meet you, pal.
Cheers.
Roger Kemp. Thanks. And by the way, where are we? What a fucking drive that was.
Aye, it was a good one.
This guy has just done 6 or 5 and a bit, 6 hours to get here.
I left Kilmarnock at 4 this morning.
4 o'clock this morning, aye. Right.
Quite fresh for a Monday, and it's a bit unusual.
Aye. Well, welcome to the House and the Fly Fifer
Thank
podcast.
you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Peter, wee introduction there. Whether I got it right or wrong, you can correct us through the discussion. But look, let's go back. Let's deep dive into you, and then your story, and then, if you know what I mean, a bit about your past, how you were raised and stuff like that, that coincides with everything that you'd post on your social.
I was born in Kilmarnock, and my mum and dad were absolutely fantastic parents. We had an excellent upbringing for the very start, and as I said, my mum's got pictures of me, my dad taking me and my brother and my cousin like away up the back roads and showing us how to get the fires going, teaching us survival skills, bushcraft, hunting, fishing, you name it. My father taught everything. But I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. Obviously, as I say, my upbringing was absolutely fantastic. My mum and dad did absolutely everything for us. We never had any problems, and maybe because my mum and dad had a few problems, but we had, as I say, it's excellent. And they're still, my mum and dad are still together right now, but we were a bit wild when we were younger, but now we're kind of obviously we're a bit older and we're settled down and everything. But I like my bushcraft. I like going to the pub now and again, but I'm more into my camping and my fishing, like outdoor stuff, constant. I do it maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
I'm hardly ever in the house.
So you yourself aren't from a fractured family or a broken home, nice stable life,
aye, my mum
good
and dad
upbringing.
were the only partners I've ever had,
right?
And kind of still together.
You and the boy, your brother, usual tearaway laddies, schooling all right, everything like that.
Aye, everything was absolutely fine. As I say, me and my
brother.
brother.
Any crazy traumas to talk of or anything like that?
I've got a few, but I can talk about them in a wee while.
Aye, go for it. Aye. Sorry.
No, you're all right. But my dad was a fireman for 33 years.
Right.
So he was a very hands-on father. So he wanted us to be like men, if you get what I mean. So we were always, our holidays consisted of going camping and stuff like that. It was always brilliant places. My mum and dad taking us, like, they took us to Lochdown, they took us up to Lochaw, we were away to Oban, constant away camping and doing things like that. And my dad always got us into fishing, shooting, everything like that. So we are absolutely fantastic family for doing that kind of stuff, and we're well known down our way for that kind of thing, Ken. But I left the school at 16, and that was me into a painting and decorating apprenticeship with a company for Finnick. They were quite good for 4 years. And then when I left them, I went and worked on the cruise ships, so I worked all around the world doing ships and stuff like that, Ken, like refits, and I worked in the shipyards in Glasgow. I kind of worked with hundreds of folk, but then after a while, as I said, I was a bit wild, so I was in and out of jobs. Some I was sacked and stuff like that, but I started for myself about 12 years ago, and I've never looked back. I'll never work for somebody again because
that sounds familiar.
I just like my own kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Tell me about it.
But as I say, if you want to know about my upbringing, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
There's never a problem. My mum and dad are still in my family. They're still in my life, and they're absolutely great to me, Ken. And they're really good to my wee boy Ellis. But that's the way I'm trying to bring my son up as well. See, like, teach him the bushcraft, the survival and things like that. So I take him away every week and obviously teach him how to get the fires going. I'm in the middle of teaching him how to do orienteering, see, like, map reading and all that kind of stuff. So he's only 4 and he's actually really good at it. My dad's teaching him as well. And there's no better teacher for that kind of stuff.
Well, listen, if it's in the genes and in the DNA, mate, there's no escaping for it. There's nothing nobody will be able to do to take that away from him, you know what I mean? So, and that's a conversation that Claire and I have quite a lot. Some certain things are in the DNA and you cannot extract that no matter how you try.
Yep, as I say, my mum and dad, they've got pictures of my dad. I'm in a pram, and my brother and my cousin Kevin, he's more like a brother to me because my dad kind of brung him up as well. And my mum's got pictures of my dad. I'm in the pram. My dad's showing Ross and Kevin what to do, and I'm sitting in the pram, and it's away up the woods, Ken. It's just like that's. So I was basically born to do that kind of thing, and I love it. It's just a part of my life now, and it's because obviously I'm starting to do TikTok videos. It's an even bigger part of my life. Right. So it's good. I enjoy it quite a bit.
So how what about schooling and that then? Was just normal, everything all right? Just your usual average guy?
I was
going
just
to school.
Normal results like everybody else.
Everybody else,
in school I was all right, but outside school you're a bit of a kind of boy, Ken.
Right,
the same as everybody else, really. Just, I kind of misbehave now and again and get told off and things like that. So, I mean, it was a long time ago. That must have been 20 odd years ago now, Ken. I mean,
right. And relationships before, because I mean, what age are you now, Peter?
I'm 37.
You're 37 now, right?
38 next month.
Right.
It's a long time ago.
Next month.
That's it. The downfall of my life now, after 40s, isn't it?
I don't know. Get to your 50.
Hopefully.
50 you're on the road, up to 50 you're still on the road and you're still trying to get there,
Still trying to find myself, to be honest.
So, where do you want to go first? Do you want to talk about the discussion that we've had regarding breakups, access to children, the legal system?
That's the main reason we're here, isn't it? It's to help folk. Like, I'm going to tell you my side, and I'm going to tell you it from my heart, and like I'll tell you all my emotions, I'll tell you everything. One thing is, I won't badmouth my ex. I'll not even mention her because she'll not be happy that I'm doing this. But see, to be honest with you, somebody needs to tell what's going on.
Peter, it's not about the exes because we're in a similar situation, and I'll say stuff today as well. It's not about them. It's about men. It's about us. It's about other guys in your situation, and it's about the fucking kids.
Yeah, that's it.
They're the main thing, you know. Realistically, sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. It's well. Where my story started was, I'll not get into how we broke up and that kind of stuff. It was just, we weren't getting on, and that was it. So I left the house with a bin bag of clays. That was about 21, 22 maybe. It was a few years back, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I left the house with a bin bag of clays. And I'll never forget the argument we had, and her telling me that I'll get to see the Wayne again. And see, when I left that house that night,
you will or you won't.
I would get to see
you
the
would,
Wayne.
Right.
See, when I left the house that night and I shut the front door, I stayed up in the Glasgow City Centre with her. I knew straight away that I was never getting to see that Wayne. Like, I just knew the way she was, that she would hold the Wayne off me. So I moved back. I actually stayed in the back. I had a van. Right. And I stayed in the van for a week. No, not even a week. It was a few days. Because I had fell out with my mum and dad because they thought that it was my fault that we had fell out, that kind of thing. And I'm like, so I wasn't talking to them kind of thing. And I stayed in the van for a couple of nights.
Which to a trained survivalist isn't a drama, really.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
I wasn't bothered. I was actually stopping and cooking my dinner places with a wee fire and stuff like that. Places I could. So I was trying to make the best of what the situation I was in.
Do you know what? It probably helped your mental health at the time, or helped your battling, or whatever was going on in your head.
That's it.
Doing what you're good at.
That was it, man. And then I moved back in with my mum and dad. And I explained to them and that, my mum and dad's like, right, okay, they wanted us to try and patch things up, right, but I knew that it was past then. There was no way I was going back, and that was it. So, it was like I was cut to bits, not because we broke up, but it was because I wasn't getting to see the main. So it went by, like months went by, and I had been texting her and asking her to see the main with no reply. And my way of dealing with that was at night time I would go to do my work, and then at night time I would come home and I would get myself a few cans, a wee bit of meat or something, and I would go up the back roads and I would sit with myself. None of my pals were there because they didn't know the situation. I wasn't texting them or that. And I would sit with a fire for maybe 6 o'clock at night. And this is in January, this is in the winter. It was like 6 o'clock at night to midnight, and then I would come home to my mum and dad's and I'd go to my bed and I'd get up and I'd do it again. And I'd done it for months on end. Then one time I got a text and it was offering me to see the Wayne once a fortnight for 4 hours.
Right.
And I'm reading this text and I'm going, that'll be fucking right, no chance. I'm his father, so we started getting into big arguments every time I text to see the Wayne. I hadn't saw him in months, and all I did was I just said, listen, see if you don't let me see the Wayne, I'll just take you to court, and that's the way it'll go. Unbeknown to me how long it was going to take, and how much grief it was going to put me through. So she's like, you take me to court all you want. I'll decide what you get with the Wayne. And I'm like, no, I don't fucking think so, you know what I mean? So I managed to get a lawyer who I thought at the time was a good lawyer. We'll get to that bit. And the proceedings started. Now inside, this wasn't my lowest point, but I really felt fucking cut to bits, and I'm talking like really bad. It was the pain. Only you could understand what I'm trying to tell you here. See the pain inside yourself. It was like inside tears. I'm not a greeter. I don't cry, but see the emotional inside of me was dying. Put it that way. It was like so bad. I wanted to see my son so bad. It was like crippling me inside. And then all of a sudden, this lawyer managed to get it into court, which I had to pay him a fee up front, which was quite a big fee. But we knew that was coming. You know what I mean? So
just for what we're talking about, any guys out there, it can take up to 2 years.
Exactly.
A decent lawyer's going to say to you, this will take a minimum of 2 years to sort out through the legal system, through the judicial system, the courts, whatever. And there's a financial implication to that. If you're working, you're going to be stung for quite a fair couple of quid. Let's be fair. But anybody watching, this is just the tunnel. This is just the start of the tunnel that we're talking about. But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
1,000,000%.
But it's the start of the tunnel, so be prepared for at least a 2 year to and fro.
Aye. It's and whatever you do when they ask you about working or that, a lawyer, try and not give away as much as you can. Keep it to yourself, because I found when I told them I worked for myself and that, the pound signs were in their eyes and they were waiting to see how, and then they would ask you how much you make and all that kind of stuff. Don't discuss that with them. Just tell them you'll sort them out whenever they ask you for a bill. You know what I mean?
Because it is the first they ask you, what do you do? What do you do for a living?
100%, you can actually see the fucker in the background going like this with a fucking cash register.
It's like you just said, it's like a puggy. The pound signs, it's just dollar.
Aye, that was what it was like. So I go into court, and this was after about 4 or 5 months, and the judge ordered. And
see that 4 or 5 months, how much had you spent? Ballpark figure, just on letters.
Oh, fuck. You're talking £200 a letter, I think it was.
Easy,
And you're talking at least 3 or 4 at the start. You know what I mean? And I mean, if they phone you and talk for 30 seconds, they're going to charge you fucking £200.
I paid £56 for a 12-minute phone call.
Oh, unbelievable, man. And it's like,
seen that phone call? It was like, all right, James, how you doing? Oh, how's life? How's work? How's this? How?
I mean, where are they fucking
6 minutes of the phone call was a blather.
They've connected to Australia to phone you back in Scotland, Ken. It's fucking insane. But it was that's how it started. We got into court. Now, the first court session was a woman. I'll never forget it. And I was sitting there. Now, we're not a criminal court, we're at a family court, but because of COVID, we were put to the criminal courts. Right. See, like, we had to merge in with them and the family court was down the stair. It was up in Glasgow Sheriff Court.
Right.
So it was down in the basement of the court. And this woman's there, this woman judge. So we're all rattling on about such and such. She's coming up with a story that she's coming up with about me. And I'm sitting there kind of roll my eyes and that kind of stuff. And the next thing, I'll never forget this in my life, the judge just started attacking me and started.
Yeah.
She was as if I was a criminal, put it that way. So I'm sitting listening to this. My lawyer's there. Her lawyer and her lawyer are at their side, and I'm sitting there, and this woman judge is going ballistic at me, right? And I'm sitting and I'm going, wait a minute here, this is gospel how it went. I just sat and I went, who the fuck are you talking to for a start? And the judge blew a fuse because I said that. And I said, no, I'm not a criminal. I'm here to see my son. You treat me with respect. And she's screaming, you better treat me with respect. This is my courtroom. And I said, I don't give a fuck whose courtroom it is.
Right.
You show me a bit of respect. I'm only here to see my son. So the judge calmed down and she threatened to fucking put me in holding cells and that kind of stuff. And I mean, this is all just to see my son. And then she said, right, okay, I sympathise with you. I understand that you're frustrated.
Right. It's passion, Peter. It's not even hatred for the judge or anything like that. It's just a passionate feeling that's inside you. Whoa, stop! You know, that sort of thing.
I shouldn't have swore and all that kind of stuff. I was a bit hyped up. I was a bit angry. I hadn't seen my son and that kind of thing. So fair play.
But then the fact you have to go to fucking court makes you angry.
You
know, why should you have to be there in the first place to get angry, to then be fucking told you're going in a holding cell because you're angry about being there in the first place?
That's it. It was, the lawyer managed to get me that day. One day, right? So I had to drive to Glasgow, pick my son up at I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I had to bring him back for 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
And then this wee boy's been in my fucking life he was born, and I've got to act as if he doesn't know me, Ken. So at the time, my van broke down. This is what really got my fire in my belly. So my van broke down, and I had only way I could get to Glasgow. I was leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning with the pram.
Right.
When I was to get him. So I was going up to Glasgow in the winter, and it was pissing rain. I'll never forget. Every time I went up to get him, it was all torrential rain. So I'd walk through there out to where we stayed in Glasgow. I would just walk it with a pram to try and burn time, and I would arrive outside the house where I used to stay with at 7:30 in the morning. No, I wasn't to get the way into 8, and it's torrential rain. This is, and she can contest this with me all she wants, but I'll never forget it, and I'll never ever forget her doing this to me. It was torrential rain, pitch black, and I had to stand outside the house with a pram, waiting to 8 o'clock, and she brought him out bang on 8:00 and gone to the rain. Instead of saying, come in and stand in the foyer, out the rain, because I'm not going to do nothing to her. I just wanted to get my son. So then I would quickly get back to get the rain, quickly rush him to the bus station, get him down to Kilmarnock. Then I would run about all the family so that he
could see everybody.
And because he hadn't saw anybody, he wouldn't know who they were. And I wanted my family's really close. So I wanted him to realise that he had aunties and uncles, old aunties and uncles, everybody. They all loved him as well. So it went on like that for about 6 months. Round about that 6 months, and I was physically inside myself, exhausted. But that gave me the fire in the belly, because when I seen my son's face when he saw me for the first time in a while, he sat in my mum's living room and he went silent and he sat like this. And I'm sitting in the kitchen and I remember I'm going to go off my fucking head here. He doesn't remember me. And my mum and dad are trying to calm me down, trying to sing in the rain, and then the rain just went like that. Dad, Kenny couldn't talk at the time, but he saw me and started smiling and laughing and cheering, and then that was it. And ever since that first connection of getting my son, that's never changed me. Seeing his wee face smiling every time he sees me. So it went on for about 6 months, because what the days you'll get that, right, and then they'll say, right, you need to do 6 weeks of that, and then you go into another bit, and it's then you get maybe 8 hours, instead of 4, but I was getting them every week.
And Peter, this is you getting put down a path of someone who would have either been I've seen this path, right? And it's usually people that have got addiction, usually people that have got some sort of ailment.
Fucking control addiction, I think.
Aye.
I'm not going to lie.
You didn't separate through any addiction issues? There was no alcohol involved? You haven't lifted your hands to her or anything like that? But you're being treated as if you...
Exactly.
Have done something.
Aye.
And all you've done is fall out of love with a person.
Exactly. See, at the start, couldn't ask for a better girlfriend. She was absolutely fantastic. She did everything for me. It was just the Wayne came along and she just changed overnight, and I was like, "What's wrong? What's happened?" But I wasn't an angel. I'm not going to sit here and portray myself as an angel, because one thing I know is I'm not an angel.
Nobody ever is.
I maybe not be the best boyfriend when I was wearing stuff like that. So it just clashed a lot. A lot of it was to do with money, Ken, I'm shite with money. I'm not going to fucking lie. But money shouldn't matter when you're in a relationship. I was just happy coming home at night and we had our own wee family. But I felt like my ex was never happy. She always wanted more, which is fair enough. She's a person that likes to. She's very good at her job and stuff like that. She was fantastic, man. I just don't know where it went wrong, but she'd tell you something different. You came, I mean,
how long was the relationship prior then?
We're together for 4 years,
right?
But we done everything together. We just had a great time together. It was like so fun, and we.
Do you think it was maybe just growing up, meeting, spending the time, and then maybe growing apart or something like that? Or?
It's like as I say, I like to go out with the boys sometimes, that kind of thing. I held my hands up, and my family will tell you I like to.
But there's no harm in that, because women like to go out with women. They like to go have their girly weekends and things away as well. So
one thing about a woman I will say is they always say it's my free weekend, Ken, but it's the All Firm Derby or something, and they're wanting to go shopping at fucking Primark, and I'm going, I don't like that. I'm going out with the boys, Ken. That's the type of thing I would be like. But I just went tits up.
Just not on Derby Day. I'll come shopping with you, but just not on Derby Day.
I'd rather go for a pint and go shopping, man. That's my nightmare. But
But with your upbringing, you could see that would be your nightmare, and why that would be a nightmare, you know, because you've been outside all the time, and then to be caged looking at all these colourful.
Here's a good example. She was a city girl. She had a high-paying job, excellent job, loved the city life.
No harm in it.
Exactly. But she was really, really fun and all that. But I was an outdoors guy, and I spent all my time outdoors. So say if I was going for a drink, my mates doing Kilmarnock, I would say to her I was going for a drink. She'd be like, where are you going? I'm like, well, we're going away out to Snakey, or we're going up Mosey's Well or something like that. And she'd be like, how the fuck can you not just go for a pint like any normal guy? Mine's up to involve sitting outside with a fire. And I'm like, just the way I was brought up.
It's the way you are. It's the way you and your mates are.
But she never bothered with me, Ken. She never really didn't. She actually enjoyed that, because she can't. I wouldn't be sitting razzling in a house party with hundreds of different birds. I was actually away with my mate, just the two of us, sitting fishing or something, Ken. Just enjoying each other's company. And then I would go back up the road once I was finished. Maybe a day or two later, Ken. But that's the kind of...
A day or two later. Maybe that was the problem.
That's the kind of stuff. But no, it was like once in a blue moon. But then that was the kind of wee stupid arguments you had. But the big arguments came just... I think we were just in the house together too much through COVID and all that. I believe that COVID caused a lot of breakups.
For millions.
Because
millions
you're fed up looking at the same face, Ken. She's probably fed up looking at my face. I'm fed up looking at hers, Ken. It's fucking... It had a lot to answer for that. My wee boy was a COVID baby, and I don't watch much telly, so I kind of think that's maybe why he came about, Ken. But so back to the court thing. So when you were doing it, you're physically exhausted. There's no describing how exhausted mentally you are.
Because you have to be here at this time, you have to leave at that time.
And my mum and dad were getting up in the morning, and they were getting me up and we're getting the pram ready, and I was leaving, I was getting the bus because I didn't have the van at the time. But I had work, and it was like fucking...
So you Kilmarnock to Glasgow to get the way in? Or, so there's a travelling element there or not?
Every time I have to drive up and pick up my son, and I have to have him back on time. But...
Was he ever dropped off at you?
Occasionally,
right?
Very occasionally.
Very
See,
occasionally.
like if I got him in this, when it went into the it went into the other case. No, the other, like, what do you call it? When you go back to court.
We'll get to it.
The welfare meeting. That's what it's called, to see how it was all gone. So obviously she spoke a bit of bullshit about me. Now, as I say, I'm no bad mouthing you, but I'll no let you forget it, because she did do that, and she did lie about me, and she had a piece of paper this fucking size about stuff I had done, or if like I wasn't back in time. It was just bullshit. I'm like that. Sitting in court. Then I got back to the second one, and it was a different judge. Right. And I said to my lawyer, wait a minute here, what the fuck's going on? This is another judge.
Yeah.
So she's like, it's just the way it goes. So I'm thinking to myself, this judge doesn't know what was happening the
last time.
So everything stuck the same. And it was another 6 weeks it was put off for another child welfare here. And then I'm sitting there going, does this not get upped? So it didn't get up that time. Then the next time I went back 6 weeks later, I mean, I'm a fucking heads all the bastard in place. And I went back 6 weeks later, and then it was a different judge. And I'm like, this is a different judge again. What am I paying for? Ken. So we managed to iron it out, and we worked out that she would give me the Saturday into the Sunday, and it was like for 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but she had to drop him off at my mum's, which she did fine. She didn't complain about it. She did do it, and no hassle there. But then I had to have him back up in Glasgow for the Sunday at like, I'm just going roughly. It was I think it was 1 o'clock on the Sunday. So I would have him back up for 1 o'clock on the Sunday, and then that was it. But then the lies started coming out. See, when I was dropping him off or I was picking him up, I was supposedly shouting at on the street, making a fuss of myself, making all our neighbours panic because I was making a big scene outside the house. Now, this was fucking bollocks. I can't remember. I don't know what planet she was getting the main dropped off on, but to be honest with you, I was standing there and all I ever done was hold the way now and walk away. Right. That was it. So in the end...
Any complaints for any of the neighbours? Like
no.
police, anything like that? Nothing like that at all? Right.
No,
so it was all just her
fictional.
hearsay?
It was all fictional.
Fictional.
I didn't actually do that. And it was like... Why I kept saying, why are you saying all that? Ken, like at court, I would go back to court and I'd be like, why are you making up lies? I even said it in front of a judge. I was like, this is bullshit. So what I ended up doing was recording myself when I was dropping the weigh off and picking them up. So if there was any instance, then I could record it and then she'd run it up.
Say, there you go.
There you go. There's that's what's happened. So
I had to do the same thing.
Exactly. And you came in a sight, you feel like a fucking idiot.
I wasn't allowed to drop the weigh off at her house. I was at the closed door, right? But I could work at the same building that she worked in, clean it, because I was a window cleaner at the time, right? So I could work in that building, cleaning the windows. She was doing in the clerk's office or whatever you want to call it, right? But I wasn't allowed in the stair to drop the weigh off, but I could go to her work and be at the work doing the windows all the time.
Insane,
Bizarre thing. But I had to record stuff.
I don't know if it's water down her way that they drink, you know what I mean? It turns into something different because it was the polar opposite person that I had knew all the times. Yeah. But we had broke up now, so I was thinking, oh, well, maybe that's got a big part to play in it. Baby folk are angry and that. So I thought it was going to ease out.
Two hearts break, it didn't break even.
Exactly. And I thought it was going to level itself out after a wee while.
Yeah.
But it only got worse. And I mean, fucking seriously worse. It was like terrible. So in this meantime, in my head, I mean, at the time, the only thing that got me going, as I said, that picked me back up was when I used to head up the woods, get my wee fire going, and I'd sit there with a bit of chicken, my music playing in my wee speaker, and like a couple of can of cider, just to kind of try and take the what's a good word for it? No depression, because I wasn't depressed. I was
take your mind off it. Get you something else to think about.
But then we got a lovely Europa run with Rangers,
right?
And that was every Thursday for God knows. And a couple of my best mates, Tony Bryson and Sean Gordon, would phone me up on the Monday and say, "What you doing for the fit one Thursday?" Because they knew I was going through a really, really bad time. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know. They would always phone and say, right, down to my bit, watch the game. So every Thursday we would watch Rangers in the Europa. And fortunately for us, Rangers got to the final. So it was every single week. And it was like something that I looked forward to. Then I would get the way at the weekend and it would be good. So my emotions were kind of up and down at the time. My mum and dad were excellent, man. They funded me a lot and all. See, when I was really struggling for money to pay this fucking lawyer, my mum and dad would always come up with something because they were worried. They were really, really worried about me because, as I said to you, the pain is undescribable. You feel lonely. You've broke up with somebody, which I wasn't bothered about personally, but other folk might forget about the breakup. That was my main focus. I'm good at just shutting somebody out. So I forgot about the breakup. My main focus was just in my brain was get my son. I want to get time with my son. No matter who tells me I'm getting that time with Ellis, and I don't care how long it takes me and what road I have to walk, I'm going to get him. So it went on and on and on. This was for about a year. And I was up and down and up and down. So eventually we went back to court and it was another judge. And the same trial, but a different judge. So I'm sitting in Glasgow, right, my fucking steam's coming out my ear. My lawyer's telling me to calm down, so I'm in the courtroom with her. I feel sorry, because she was a good lawyer, right? It was a company she worked for were scammers. But she was a good lawyer, and I'm sitting in the courtroom, and I'm sorry, Mum, for swearing, because she'll watch this. But I'm sitting in the courtroom, and Gail's there, and I'm sitting, and the judge is up at the hanging. My ex and her lawyer's there, and I'm going to my judge. No, got my lawyer in front of the judge. I'm going, "Where the fuck am I paying you for here? There's another judge. What is going on? How can you no sort this out for me?" So I get told to calm down, that kind of stuff. And then the judge ordered me to get, I'm sure it was a day and a half. This is after like a year. So I got like a day and a half. Now, the excuses my ex was coming out with was, I stayed with my mum and dad, so I didn't deserve to get the Wayne all that time. I didn't deserve to get an overnight because I'd nowhere to stay. I didn't have a vehicle to go and pick him up, which I used public transport to get him. Now, I travelled for a couple of hours in the morning in the winter to go up and get my son. Now, a lot of guys would say, "Oh, I want to get transport, so I'm not going to get him." Yes, your head, there's transport there and that you can get. There's ways of getting your Wayne, right? So, this was all the excuses that were coming up with. And then she hit the judge with, he uses the bus to come and get him. And she had already told the judge that I was unreliable.
Right.
So the judge, this is when it kind of started getting a turning point.
Right.
Bullshit started coming out. So the judge turned around to her and said, "Wait a minute here. How can you call that guy unreliable when he has left the house for nearly 6 months in the winter, into the summer, and got the bus for Kilmarnock to Glasgow and walked out with a pram to get his son and got the bus back, and you're sitting telling me he's unreliable?" He's like, "Your story's on the matching now. It's starting to come out. It's starting to come out the woodwork." And you're talking about a pish, Ken, which it was. And then, so I got my time upped, Ken, because I was trying my hardest to do what I could, try and be nice. It was like she could never be nice to me. And then I was always called like a shit feather and all that. Constantly called a shite feather and constantly beaten down. Ken, like constant, all the time. Every time I picked him up, I was told it was a shit feather. I wasn't to do this, wasn't to do that. So
why do you think that is? I mean,
honestly,
do you think it's like so that you'll stop, you'll walk away,
give in,
you'll just give in?
Exactly.
But why would somebody want that for their child anyway?
I have no idea.
No disrespect to your ex at all. It's just when you think about the logic of it, why would you want that for your own child, not to have that person?
I don't understand.
When he's not a bad person.
You know what I mean? And the thing was, right, see when I was getting browbeaten, constant browbeating. I even going fucking through the relationship, but that's just a relationship for you. You get all the time. Everybody's the same. Everybody argues.
Everybody argues.
So I was getting browbeaten, but then it started graining on me, really grating on me, and I wasn't happy. I see every time I was getting angry about it, and this is the point I was getting. As angry as you can get, never lift your hands to anybody. Never, just keep the heat. As much as, no matter what they say to you, always keep your heat about it, because
see how you're talking about keeping your heat and never getting angry and never lifting your hands. Can I add to that? Do you think that had you been calmer in the front of the whatever judge, whatever guy it is, whatever one of them, the three different ones, if you'd have been that calmer, do you think you would have had a different outcome, or did it no matter?
I think if I had been calmer, it wouldn't have mattered. I think, I'm personally honest, I think the court seat is a cash cow.
Cash cow, aye.
That's it in a nutshell. Do you
think it's easier for them if they see you angry and frustrated to, we'll milk this a wee bit longer because he's really passionate or whatever? So if you were calmer and relaxed in there, no shouting at anybody,
I'm
do
not
you
like
think?
that. Look,
No.
I'm a bit of a hothead. I can't. If somebody's talking shit about me, I'm going to.
You got to defend yourself.
I'm going to defend myself.
No, it's understandable.
It was like all this shit was getting said to me. So it was, my mum and dad knew that was affecting me. So did all my pals. They were really good to me. My mate Daly used to get me down to his house. My mate James would tell me, we'd hang about all the time, got the woods and that. And my pal Tuck would go a walk. My brother and my cousin would all, and their girlfriends and Kevin's wife and that, they all knew. My uncles and aunties, everybody knew this was getting to me. So every time I was with them, they would always hanging me down.
Right.
So that was excellent.
So the turning point in the...
Oh no, this was just the start of the worst of it.
Right,
the
okay.
Worst. This is it, building right into it, man.
Oh, right, sorry.
So I started financially struggling as well.
Right.
Because these lawyers were asking for fucking money that I didn't have, and I'm fucking panicking. But I'm working to pay lawyers. How do I put it? Struggling through life.
Yeah.
Really badly. So all my family knew, and everybody was kind of helping me out and all that kind of thing. But then we got back to court, and it was like I got extra time. but it was another judge. But this judge was a man.
Right.
And he told us that he would, because he looked back on it and said, listen, there's been so many judges here, this is getting out of order. This is where guys probably give up. You know what I mean? Because they're thinking, how am I going to get this out of the fucking line? So this judge said, God bless him, because he died during the case. He died of leukemia. It was Sheriff Considine, his name was, and he was fantastic. I felt this guy took my side. Because he could see with his own eyes. Plus, remember I said this.
Or he took the time to look at the case.
Exactly. Really,
rather
really,
than just whatever.
Yeah. And I think he saw how hurt I was inside.
Yeah.
And then he kind of took my... This is the guy that spotted the lies coming out. The wee bits of bullshit. The unreliable thing. But he said, how can you call that guy unreliable when he's getting the bus up to get his main? It's obviously shown that he'll do anything to go and get him.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of awarded me more time. But see, the more time I was getting, the more lies that she was coming out with to cut that time down.
Right.
So see, when we went back 6 weeks later, there would be more list. The list would be like this size. And I'd be like, where the hell is she getting all this information? What kind of load of crap?
Yeah.
And it was like...
What you're saying is, so the list of information, is it on drop-offs and pickups, or is it about you and your life?
Aye, everything in
which
general.
At that point, unless you're not a threat, you're not a problem.
I don't care if she goes out with whoever she wants to go out with. It's her life. Go and do what you want. Leave me alone, kind of thing. But she never bored me that way. She never phoned me up saying, "Oh, why?" But I'll get to that bit. So then I'm working up in Loch doing a big job. This job was a great pire. This is when inside myself I said, I'm going to get this out of the fucking line. Because this job came, it was like God had just fucking sent this job to me. It was like a big mansion I was painting, a lot of money in it, and I'm like, you dancer, fires in the belly, so
get this done, that'll take care of a few bills.
That's it. So the next thing I can, we started talking and texting. And this is like a year and a half into it. And I'm texting and I thought, right, this is good. This is the turning point. This is the one. So we're talking and we're just playing on the way weeks now. I'm not going to say what was said. It was just like relationship shite. So the next thing, the conversation turned to, can you drop the court case? And I said, how? She said, well, see if you drop the court case, we'll try and sort it out. We can maybe get back together and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm no fucking stupid. I'm no buttoned at the back by any means. So I'm like, right. So if I call my lawyer and I call it all off, we'll maybe try and sort it out. So I'm driving up, I'll never forget, I'm driving up by Loch Lomond this day up to the job in Loch. So she's like, aye. So later on in the day, the phone goes. So she's phoned me. And she says, did you phone your lawyer and cancel the court? No, I'm fucking streetwise and I'm savvy as fuck. So I said to her, aye, I cancelled it. And she said, right, I just wanted to ken that because she was just interested in getting the thing. She wasn't interested in getting back to me. It was just about getting the court finished so she didn't have to fucking go back and pay for court. She could hold my son off me. So I turned to her and I said, well, that's funny because I read you like a book. I hadn't cancelled the court. I never phoned my lawyer at all. So I quote that out. Quote her out. Can you cut her name out that, by the way?
I'll maybe try and put a bleep in.
So I quote that out. That was a big fucking...
You better take a time note of there so I can cut her name out.
And then that's when it started getting really bad. So the accusations... I wasn't allowed to get the way because my mum's not, as I said. So how can I put it? I managed to get my own house, right?
Okay.
So when I went back to court, I said, Ken, that's me got my own house now. So she said, oh, he's not getting the Wayne because he doesn't get the Wayne on his own. The Wayne's not allowed to stay with him because he's himself. And my mum and dad weren't there. But she wanted to cut my mum and dad out of Ellis's life altogether because I've got a message on my mum's phone saying that they're no longer required because Ellis has got his own support network now. That was meaning her family, my family were to get fuck all to do with him. And I'm like, no, that's not the way I fucking work. My family's involved. My mum and dad are great grandparents, and so is my aunties and uncles are fantastic.
And they also have granny and granddad rights. They have rights as grandparents.
Correct. And I lost my grandparents when I was younger. All my grandparents. I paid for my papa. I lost him in 2010. But I cherished to see my grandparents again. And they were brilliant with me when I was away. And my grand died in 96, 95, 96. And my other grand, she died in about the 2000s. But all my grandparents were fucking great with me, and I would give anything in my life to see my gran again. And that's 30 years ago now she's died. But even like my papa, just remembering the times that when My papa was a Kelly man, but he was a deep down, he was a Rangers fan. So when Rangers games were on, I used to sit with my papa and watch all the football games, me, Ross and Kevin and my papa, and their times I cherish. And one time I really fucking regret is the year my granddad, the couple of years before my granddad died, Rangers got to Europa final, and he phoned us up and he said, "Do you want to watch the final with me?" And at the time I was a young fucking wild guy, I was out women, fucking Party and Razzling,
young man, aye.
And I said, "Aye, Papa, me, Ross and Kevin will come and watch it." And this is one of the biggest regrets in my life, and it's as simple as it is, it is fucking horrible. I never went and watched it with him, and he sat with all he had bought his drink and everything, and I never went and watched it with him. And it was the last game of football was before that, obviously, and I wished I'd sat with my papa and watched that game with him.
Aye.
But see, this is why I want my mum and dad involved in my Wayne's life a lot, because I want him to get that kind of thing with my mum and dad. I mean, my dad's teaching him things, and my dad's a great teacher at survival and bushcraft and fishing and stuff like that. My father is first class, and I'm no shitting you. Our family is one of the best about to do that kind of stuff, and folk will agree with us. Kilmarnock, it's just, I've only recently started putting on TikTok all my stuff. There's more to meet the eye, but my son can learn this. He's got that in his family. But yeah,
and the way the world's going, you never know when he'll need it.
He'll need it at some point, man. Innit? But the way it is she didn't want my son involved in anything like that. So when we were at court one time, she tried to get a court order on me, doing things like that with my son, and the guy judge that we had said to her, he said, "Listen, I'm not giving you a court order for that, because see, if that was my childhood when I grew up, I'd have had the best upbringing in the world." He said, "Waynes should be outside. They should be learning the skills of life, not just sitting in a fucking tablet
or
and
a phone
and the internet, Ken, all that fucking internet stuff. That's what they're all doing now, and it's horrible to see, because it's detaching them from reality. And then it's like, why don't you want me to be able to do this with my son? But she can never answer me. But the hurt inside she was causing, I never ever tell any of my pals. At one point, I did think about doing away with myself because I was that low. And this is like a year and a half into the court. And I was sitting at the woods one day, I'll never forget it myself. And nobody knows this, because I hadn't even told my fucking parents about this. I was sitting with a fire, and what was going through my head was fucking lethal.
Right.
And a lot of guys must be feeling that right at this moment. And all I can say to them is, don't even fucking think about it. Keep your head and fight for your son. Just go for the glory. Don't be feared of how much it costs, because another thing is, you can do a payment plan. You couldn't do that. I unfortunately didn't get legal aid, which really financially crippled me. I lived out a bin bag of clays for a full 3 years. I didn't manage to get myself any clays.
Just part of being in the tunnel. There's light at the end.
You've just got to fucking hold it together and just be a man. I was going out in the town with my pals, and they were all wearing the best of clays and everything, and I was standing with the old shitty clays I had on for fucking 3 years ago. But I didn't think of that. It was more in my head, I wanted my son. I don't care what I'm wearing. It's, how do you put it? Materialistic stuff didn't matter. Didn't matter. I had to get my son. So you fight through that. And the deep thoughts that you get when you're sitting in your cell and you feel lonely, don't think about that. That's all I'm going to say. Never, ever go down that route. There's paths you've got to choose on this battle, and that isn't one of them. You think of your son or your daughter, they're loving you and they want to spend time with you, and you're thinking about that. See, if you leave them behind, you're going to cause them a bigger hurt the rest of their life than what you're going to cause sticking to the battle or trying to catch them. That is a great point.
That's because a huge point.
We spoke about the folk that have killed themselves. Now, there was a wee guy recently, I think we spoke about, and his name was Dan Young.
That's right,
I didn't know
seen a lot of that. Seen it on podcasts.
I didn't know the boy personally, right? And I mean, I did read the story, but I didn't want to read it because what I was going through at the same time. It hurts me to see somebody else in that situation.
Same situation,
And it made me feel that's fucking terrible for that boy. And then he went through the same thing, because he get rinsed for lawyers. It seems to be fucking Kelly lawyers. Get a shower of shite. You just rinse folk to the fucking bone.
I don't think it's just Kelly lawyers, mate. I think it doesn't matter what, you know what I mean. Solicitor.
Fucking.
It says it all. They're there to solicit every penny out of your
you
pocket.
Believe it, man.
You know what I mean?
I didn't believe my pockets were as deep until I met a fucking lawyer. But that boy ended up, he killed himself, and I mean, how hard must he have been going through it? Because I know he was passed from pillar to post with lawyers. Now, there was a lot of them talking shit about the boy. I wished if I had got a seat with him, I could have at least had a chat with him and told him the grass is greener when you keep battling.
Keep going,
but that boy must have been so tortured. Another one was my big mate Cass. He killed himself 10 years ago. God rest his soul. What a lovely guy. My brother, one of my brother's best mates, he split up with his ex and she kept the wains off him. And she went out with this other guy and got the wains to start calling this other guy dad. And Big Cass was like a fucking gorilla. This guy was as hard as nails. Like, you would never have thought he'd have done it. And he sat in the pub with us one night, the Charleston, having a bevy, gave us all a cuddle, my brother and everything. We were only young at the time. Gave my brother that a cuddle. Then he walked up the road, and we were all like, Ken, that's no fucking like Cass to give me a cuddle and everything. And then we all went home, obviously, done our wee retrospective things, went up the road, or left the house party, went home. And my mum and dad's door chaps. And it was his brother, Paul, standing. And he said to my mum and dad, he's like, your Michael hung himself last night.
Wow.
And the reason he done it was because that fucking arsehole kept the wains off him. And he never got the chance to even see his wains before he done it. And it was devastating, Ken, because he was just such a happy guy. And just, it's just one of these things. It's like puts something in my throat talking about it, because I could have been that guy.
It's the biggest and the strongest that have the will to carry it out.
I could have been that guy for about 1 week.
Yeah,
I could have been that guy.
And it, you know, and like you're saying, Peter, if we can get, if somebody had got him and noticed the signals or noticed that and just stopped him and said, listen, whoa.
Exactly, man.
You know what I mean? He'd be still here for his wains, you know.
There's so many folk out there that don't have the help and the support and they don't have the family that I had or you had. Like folk that were
behind you,
us.
Yeah.
But my messenger or my mobile number or my TikTok's always open for somebody to mail and ask.
And it's like the many of us that sit and talk like this, Peter, as well, free and openly about these situations, then maybe the guys will turn to their mate and say, listen, fucking struggling. Like say, or any guys watching this with mates going through it, chap his door, make sure he's all right, you know.
Another one's my mate Daley Richmond. He's gone through the exact same thing, right? Now see all the way through what I was going through. Daley and his ex were getting me into their house to have a drink at the weekend. It's the same again. My mates were getting me down so that they could keep me company.
Keep an eye on you. Make sure you're all right.
My personal opinion in Daley's situation, right? His ex was listening to everything that was going on between me and my ex.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they broke up maybe November or maybe it was about September. She's doing the exact same my ex done to him. Not done to me, with him. And I think her listening to that is why she's doing that to him. That's just my personal opinion. I might be wrong, but I do think that's what's happening.
Let's hope you are wrong.
Aye.
Let's just think that it's a system and a way that people work, because
personally, I don't
what
think
do we all know? What do we all know?
I think it's a control thing. I
yeah,
really do.
there seems to be the bairns get used as a pawn, which is a shame, and they should never be used as a pawn.
A hurtful thing as well was when I was getting my Wayne and I was taking him home. He couldn't really speak at the time. He's only a wee Wayne. He's only 2. But every time I had to take him home, I remember, this is when I was driving again. I had a motor. I think I managed to get a motor again. So I was taking him home and he couldn't speak. But all the way up to Glasgow, I would be sitting and he'd be in his wee chair and I would tell him I loved him. All that way. The whole way, Dad loves you. Never forget Dad loves you. And he couldn't even understand what I was fucking saying, right? So, pardon me. That went on for a while. And then he managed to start talking. So one day I was taking him home, and he turned around to me and he went, "I love you, Dad." Yeah. And I hadn't even said that. I had only been saying this to him when he couldn't really talk. And see, when he said that to me, I actually felt like the world had just opened up and made me feel a lot stronger. Because it made me think, right, I'm fucking fighting for my son. I'm going tooth and nails for this. So this is when the court case started getting really, really hands-on. Battle. This was a proper battle. I used to come home from back to my mum and dad's and tell them what had happened and say to them, I just fucking fought the devil, man. I stood there and I went toe to toe with the devil in the middle of a courtroom. I genuinely was fighting for my fucking life at that point. Because the amount of shit that was getting spoken about me at court, I was sitting going, nah. So then I started proving that she was talking shit. That kind of thing. And then it got up. Every 6 weeks it got up. But then I got my own house. And she had been in this house, right? This is my papa's old house in New Farm. She had been in it. Great house. Beautiful big back garden, 3-bedroom house, downstairs toilet, kind of lovely big council house. But she wrote a letter to the judge that it was a council house. She didn't want him to stay in a council house. And I was like, Ken, what the fuck's he meant to stay in? Fucking, Ken, what you want me to do? Buy a fucking castle somewhere?
This was actually presented to the judge.
Presented to the judge. I wished I'd brought the sheet with me today because I could have showed you.
Where did the judge take that?
So the judge said to
half the population's in a council house.
Well, what I had to do, right, is I had to pay a guy, an independent solicitor, to go to that house and walk round that house with me and make sure that was fit for my son. And I had to pay him £1,800 just so he could walk in my house. And that guy came down to my house. And I remember the day I was sitting in we all cleaned, we tidied the house up. The house was fine, but it's like, I'm a fucking man, can't I mean?
Exactly.
My mum's like, no, you better tidy. You better get
you
your
guy
washing
clean
and
the
that.
place. I know the
So we all
drill.
cleaned it up. And the guy came to the doorstep with a clipboard, and he walked in the door and went, I don't know how I'm here. He said, there's fucking nothing wrong with this house. And this is before he even put his foot in the door. And he walked in the house and he just clipboarded it and ticked it, and he's like, this house is absolutely fantastic for your son to stay in. Walked out the back door and he's like, what a beautiful back garden and everything you've got, Ken, for him to run about and all that kind of stuff, big fence, Ken. But I had to pay a guy to do that. And that at that point, I didn't have any money. So I'm sitting there, couldn't pay for this guy at first. And then the phone goes. A week later, the phone goes. My mum and dad just stay on the back door for me. My mum's on the phone and she's like, listen, just come out to your house and we see you. My mum and dad had gave me a lot of money towards this already. They were using their pension and stuff like that, and I felt guilty. So I went out to my mum and dad's this day, and I thought I was going to need to chuck the towel in. I thought I was going to have to gear up because I didn't have the money. I was struggling, really struggling. And at that point, I was really feeling down about it. And my dad came out with an envelope and just haunted me and said, go pay that guy and get this fucking thing done. He's like, get this done. And I'm like, my dad had, I don't know where he got his, it was some bond or something. He had been saving up his whole life. This is money for them to go on holiday.
Retire, live.
Retire, live. They're using this to give me to fucking pay to see my son. And I felt terrible for them, man. But I managed to pay that guy, and that, my house got put forward to the judge, and the judge is like, that's a great house for the Wayne, so there's no ifs or buts. What's your reason for not letting him stay? Because he's on his own. That was the reason she gave for not letting him come to my new house.
Is she not on her own though?
Aye.
What's the difference?
That's fucking crazy, man. It's like, so I was like, what you want me to do? Bring my whole family in and stay in the house while I've got the Wayne, Ken? Come on, the fuck, get a grip.
So Granny and Grandad's over the back.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not exactly a fucking retard. You know what I mean? I ken how to look after my son.
I ken how to survive outside on your own.
Man. Fucking just check my TikTok and you'll see that I can fucking survive on my own. So this battle went on, but as I said, the more that went, the more she was beating down on me because I was gaining. That's a good word for it. I was gaining time with my son.
Yes,
I could see she was getting angrier and angrier about it at court.
So, there is a flip when you go to court, and you get angry, and then you see that the opposition is getting angry. You say, right,
I'm not going to lie.
I'll just
at
chill
some
out
points
here a wee bit.
I wanted to wipe the full courtroom out. I was that angry. I felt like I was going to do away with a fucking lot of them because the anger inside yourself. But you need to battle through that anger.
You do.
You have to get rid of the anger and channel it somewhere else. Hence why I said I got the winds and get a fire. Because that anger is going to have to go. You can't
bottle
have
it
anger.
up. Can't keep it
bottle
all
it
in.
up, man.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll tell you a story about bottling the anger up. This is quite a funny story. It kind of moves away from it. I don't know if it's quite funny.
Go for it.
So I'm out with my mate one night, and all this anger's built up in my head. And I'm angry, I'm wanting to take this out on somebody, but I never ever did, because I'm not that type of guy. I'm quite easygoing, quite a laugh. So I'm in the garage nightclub in Kilmarnock. I've had a few scoops. I've maybe had 15 pint.
Pull that wee mic closer to you, pal. Just,
I've probably had about 15 pint in me or something. Ken, I'm enjoying my Sunday. So I'm in the garage and my mate's at the bar, and I'm in the toilet doing a pee. And this boy's walked out the cubicle, right? And I'm sitting there, just locked on my shoulder. I wasn't bothering him. Me and my mate were just having a good night. This boy's walked out the cubicle. I'll never fucking forget it. And said, who the fuck are you looking at? And at that point, see when I look back, that guy picked the wrong person to say that to. And I looked down and I went, turned my head away. The next thing he's my face, right? And I'm going, is this a fucking joke? I said to his face, I went, is this a fucking joke? But this anger that I have built up out of this fucking court case is channeled in my fucking head, right? So I said to the guy, I said, is this a joke? And he went, no, it's not a fucking joke. Who the fuck were you looking at? And I'm baffled. The toilet's mobbed. There's a doorman there and all. So I'm baffled, and I went, I'll tell you now, pal, see if you don't take that back in 10 seconds, I'm going to fucking spark you. And I'm never like that.
Yeah. And
the cunt stared at the square nut to me. So I just had to fucking wrap the skull on him. Absolutely knocked clean out, and the full toilet were actually sitting shaking my hand going, that deserved that.
Aye.
But inside they didn't care. That guy did not have a clue how fucking angry I was inside. And it's all by with the boy. I don't even know the boy, to be honest with you. He's some fucking balloon for Kilmarnock, but he must start folk all the time. But it was the wrong guy to pick on that night.
Picked on the wrong one at the wrong time.
And it was like a clean fucking headbutt that I got this boy. But his brother was standing and he nearly got the brunt of it and all. So the doorman chucked that boy out because he saw what happened.
Right.
And then patted me in the back and said, go and enjoy your pint. So the rest of the night I just enjoyed my drink. So recently I've no really been going out to pubs until I can get rid of all the built-up stuff. Because if somebody says something to you, you're going to snap.
Yeah.
And guys in that situation will do the same thing. See, like yourself, if somebody says something, you're going to bite at them.
Sounds silly,
Aye, but that boy that night was the wrong guy to pick on. But guys in our situation, they just have to try and channel that anger somewhere else and think about their children.
Yeah.
So that's why I do my wee TikTok, right? Because I'm trying to show folk that you don't need to just get your way and sit in. You can go and do stuff with them.
Yeah.
Don't need to just take them to soft plays. Now, I think that's what his mum's good to him. My wee boy's mum's great to him. There's no taking that away fair. Fantastic. Maybe we don't go on, but she's good to the Wayne.
Right.
Right, and then I think, see, men, we should be showing them what the stuff that I do. That's what I like.
It's a yin and yang, you know.
Aye.
Nature, nurture. Am I right in saying nature, nurture? You know, the mums teach the fluff and the guys can teach the
man. Just
the rough and tumble and
boys and the wee lassies go and do wee lassie thing.
Go and fall off your bike, or like I'll say to the wee guy here, go and just go on the motorbike and run up the hill, and she'll be like, "No, you're not going on that bike."
That's just a mum for you, but isn't it? That's it.
I'm like, get it out. She's away out. Go for it.
That's what it's like, man. It's fucking great. That's the right upbringing. And where you stay is a beautiful place, man.
And didn't get me wrong, she likes outdoors. She's an outdoorsy woman, so I mean, he gets a lot of that.
He's
you know,
definitely staying in the right area. This is fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I just picture myself walking up the fucking hills and getting a fire gun somewhere, and staying for a week.
like
But so back to the court. Right?
Aye, the turning point. You're starting to see ground. That's where you'd got to.
Yes, that's where I started to gain.
Yeah.
And I felt she got worse with me.
Right.
Because that's when she really started beating in my brain. How do I put it? Browbeating me.
When really she should be getting kicking her own arse, because she's put you in that position.
And
you know?
all that time I was trying to be a really good dad, right? All I wanted, and I hate admitting this, all I wanted was the one person to turn around and say, "You're a good dad." And the one person was her that wouldn't tell me I was a good dad. So it made me, see, after I dropped the Wayne off and stuff, I questioned myself, have I done enough for the Wayne? Did he have a good weekend? Did he do that? Did I do this? I didn't do that, right? I didn't do that. Constantly questioning myself, and I still do it to this day because we still don't talk. Right. She's still just as bad. Yep. But over the past couple of weeks, we've not spoken, but she's been all right. Gear her dues, we've not argued or fuck all, right? She's been all right. But
it is difficult though when there's no communication between even things on the wee guy's no liking this and now, but he's liking that. Food wise, a simple thing like that.
I'll make up my own mind what he wants. Cause it's like I just give him what he wants. But inside yourself, if you're going through this situation inside yourself, you really need to hold it together. You might think you're skint. No, this is the point where I really was rook it. I was getting bills in left, right and centre for fucking thousands. It was like one Christmas Eve. I was lucky because I bought all the Wayne's presents early doors, so I bought them in like September and October and that. So I had them all sitting and I got a bill in. Now, don't quote me on this, right? The bill was for a few quid. It was all I had. Right. All I had, and I had managed to build all this money back up. And this is all I had on Christmas Eve. And then I got an email from him saying, if you don't, this is McCloskey Brown for Kilmarnock, which is a shower of shit. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
That's in your opinion and everything like that.
That's most folks' opinions.
Fair enough.
But I got a bill in, and it was for a lot of money. And that was all I had, and it was to do with my holiday pay or Christmas and that. So I ended up, I just paid it. Because they wrote me an email on Christmas Eve saying, if you do not pay the bill, we'll no represent you after Christmas. Right. And I had another welfare here on like the 6th of January or something. So I paid it. Left myself fucking skint at Christmas. But as I said, my mum and dad were good to me. They gave me money if I needed it and stuff. So I never went without, put it that way. So they pressured me into paying a lot. Really pressured me into paying. But I managed to pay it. And as I said, I was finding them. I work for myself, I'm a decorator, so I'm always in work. I've always got work coming up and all that kind of stuff. But it was making me lower and lower and lower to the point where I was really getting down. And that's when I was questioning myself, am I a good dad? And my mum and dad, my family, just let's keep saying my family, right, to cut it off short.
Aye.
They were constantly telling me I was doing a great job, I'm a great father and that kind of stuff. Because the one person hasn't told you you're a good dad,
Aye.
your baby's mum,
Yeah.
you always question yourself. I just wanted her to turn round and the argument would be finished and say, listen, you're a good dad. But she always told me I was a shite father.
Right.
And as I said, she can contest that all you want, but you definitely told me that, and you still tell me that to this day.
Aye.
So
The way no tell you whether you're a good dad
I
or
know
not.
I'm a good dad.
Exactly, yeah.
Because see, when I go to pick him up at his mum's,
Aye.
he's staring at the window,
Aye.
jumping like a fucking loony,
Aye.
waving at me and everything.
Aye.
And then I get him out and he's all buzzed and everything, and then it was going on like that for ages.
And that's one of the reasons that dads need to carry on.
Aye.
See what you've just described there, the Wayne standing at the window,
Exactly.
bouncing about like a loony. What if you do something to yourself and you're no there to see that Wayne bouncing it?
1,000,000%. I couldn't
What does that
agree with
Wayne
you
do?
there.
Stand,
Aye.
look at the dad that's never coming at the window.
Visage you just disappears and you're never there
Exactly,
again. And some other
exactly.
fucking arsehole going to turn up and kid on that they're his father.
Exactly.
When you're actually
Yep.
his dad, that's
Yep.
what you need to remember, the hurt and the pain that you're going
Yep.
to cause that Wayne for a lifetime.
A lifetime, yeah.
And my mum and dad kept saying that to me. My brother and that kept saying, just
Yeah.
think, Ellis, just think.
Think,
What
aye.
would he think if you weren't there? Because, as I
Exactly.
said, teaching him all the survival stuff, and that's his, he loves it.
Yeah.
I've got him the bug. Can I
Aye.
mean, taking him fishing, and I take him tracking wee animals and stuff.
We said it's in the DNA, it's
Superb,
not just
man.
a bug, it's part of him, you know what I mean? Aye.
So when I pick
Aye.
him up, the first thing he says to me, I'm like, what you want to do this weekend? Camping, Dad. I want to go
Aye.
camping. And I'm like, brilliant. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
But then we were talking about manipulation. So he did that for ages, and then all of a sudden I started picking him up and I would say, what you want to do on a Friday? What you want to do? I'm not allowed to go camping, Dad. Mum said it was dangerous, and I'm like, wait a minute here. How it's not? I had to drill it into his head that it wasn't dangerous. So now it's all past. That's in the past. But
Aye.
I'll go back to the court again. I was getting so much right, but then it started. I felt like they were pitting it off intentionally.
Right.
And it went on for about a year. He just not gaining any time.
Yep.
So I'm sitting to this lawyer and I'm going, what is happening here? How am I not getting anywhere? Oh, you've just got to get pit off, Ken, it'll get pit off. And I'm like, no, wait, again. I had that argument with her a few times. I'm like, no,
Aye.
I'm paying you. You answer to me. I don't answer to you. Because she was trying to tell me what to say in that. And I said, no,
Aye.
I'm here on my money. So if I want you to say something, you're
You
going to
say
say
it.
it. And
Aye.
that's it. Or I'll say it myself.
Aye.
So I was getting into trouble now and again with the judges because
Aye.
I wanted to keep my mouth shut. So, the emotional side of it was kind of hard because the bullshit she was coming out with was unbelievable, and it was going on and on and on. So it get put off. Then we went back, and it was another judge. Can't remember his name, but he started. I had to represent myself because at one point I said to that lawyer, Ken, what? Day
Aye.
one,
Go.
I'm no wanting you anymore because
Yeah.
she was great up to that point. Then then it was the kind of try to tell me what I'll say and all that kind of thing, and I'm sitting beside her and I'm going, no, wait a fucking minute here.
Yeah.
You do what I tell you. I don't care what you try and tell me. I'm paying you,
Yeah.
so you listen to what I've got to say, and that's it. So we kind of started bickering because of that, and I felt like she was wanting to say it because she could have got it put off again. More money. So I scrapped her. I said, get yourself hunted, you fucking balloon.
Right.
So we got rid of her, and I represented myself for a full year. And it was her lawyer against me, and we're in the courtroom, and I was doing my talking and all that kind of stuff, and the judge said to me, he said, listen, you need to get yourself a lawyer because I feel the way you're speaking, you're not meaning it in a bad way, but I feel threatened. He's like, I feel the way you're speaking to me, and I feel
Right.
threatened, and I'm a judge. So this is
So
when-
maybe that passion coming out, Peter,
Aye,
maybe
aye.
too
The guy was
aggressive
alright.
and stuff like
Aye,
that.
the guy was
Whether
alright.
it's aggressive or no to you,
Aye, that's
maybe
it.
that's-
He was sitting up. I don't know what
Aye.
he was worried about. He was sitting up in a chair, up in the fucking
Aye.
up high. I was just being
Yeah.
passionate. So he told me to get a lawyer, but I strung it out a bit. But when I was representing myself, I gained more time
right?
than I gained with a lawyer.
Well, right?
So I fought her tooth and nail, and I managed to get Friday to Sunday, and then Thursday into the Friday.
Right.
No, that's. I got the Friday to Saturday. I gained a bit of more time.
Aye.
I've gained more hours. I think it was more hours. So I gained it on my own against her lawyer, who was a fucking high and mighty,
Yeah.
high paid lawyer. But then the
Is she paying for it herself? Is it legal aid? She's paying for it as well.
And I paid for mine. I never get legal aid, and she didn't get legal aid.
Right,
Because
okay.
when we were together, we were a power couple. We made a lot of money.
Right.
She
Okay.
made a lot more than me, but I made a lot of money as well. We lived quite we lived quite a decent life. We
Right,
were out for
okay.
our dinners and that all the time. We didn't need to worry about money. Put it that way.
Right.
Went really good holidays. We travelled the whole of America together and stuff like that,
Right.
Kent, as a holiday.
Aye, aye.
So we had cash.
So there's no legal aid involved here.
There was no chance of us getting legal aid whatsoever. So, how can I put it? I fought her lawyer really bad, and it was like I had so much fire in my belly. I wasn't giving up. There was name to let me give up at this point. But her lawyer kept coming out with pish. That's what angered me more. So I was having arguments with her and her lawyer in the courtroom.
Right.
So I was getting told to calm down for the judge. Hence the reason they say they felt quite threatened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, okay. I'm sorry, didn't mean it, Ken. Like, get a grip, man. Fucking hell, Ken. It's like, I'm not going to do nothing. But then I realised, my mum and dad and that are saying to me, listen, you're maybe coming across too aggressive.
Yeah.
You need to chill out, Ken. But it wasn't aggressive as in, like, what do you call it? Like, wanting to fight. It was aggression with passion.
Aye.
The fight was in my belly.
Yeah.
Raw
Raw emotion. Yeah,
and
yeah.
she knew that. And her lawyer knew that. But it was like stupid things. I would turn up to the court and she would be a letter to the judge saying that I was at the bingo on a Thursday night, and it's like the judge is like, "What, is the guy not allowed to go out and enjoy
No, like
himself?"
a social life
Ken,
at all. Aye.
It's not even a time when I had the win. I went out on a Thursday to the bingo
Aye.
myself just for a pint to play a game of bingo. I mean,
Aye.
I didn't fucking play bingo. I just went to do something different because I felt really lonely sitting in the house myself. Ken, that's another thing we can touch on.
A survivalist that likes bingo.
I certainly didn't.
Maybe didn't want to shout that out too loud. Cut that part.
I didn't want to tell my ex I got a house either, man, because she'd probably got me to vet it again.
Aye, true.
But, so I was feeling awful lonely a lot. That's the thing we should touch on. See, when these guys, our kind of situations,
Yep.
you stay on your own. So the times that made me feel the loneliest and the deepest, like the darkest is a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I had the Wayne at the weekend. See, when I had to take the Wayne home.
The Sunday night.
The Sunday night or the Sunday afternoon. And I drop him off up at his mum's and I go home and all his toys are still lying about the house. All his wee dinner plates are there, Ken. It's like, that's when it hit me. I'm on my own. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have anything. I felt like I had absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that is when that is the lowest moment.
There are hard times then when you take the reins back.
That was the one where you're thinking, I've just got to do away with myself.
Yeah.
Which, as I said, I would never have done it. I've never ever would do it. Because I don't want to cause the pain and the hurt to your Wayne.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to get the point across to guys that are in that situation. That
you're just passing your baggage from one to the other.
Exactly.
You're just all the things on your shoulders.
Yeah,
you're just
leave
saying,
it,
here,
man.
carry that. I'm off.
Aye, that's
and
spot on.
why would you do that to anybody?
Absolutely spot on. And I would come home and it'd be a Sunday, maybe about 4 o'clock. So it was, I can't remember the rough times. It was like 4 o'clock. So I'd phone my mate James. That's my best mate. He's my right hand man. See, all through this, he has always been by my side, helped me out. And, like, he's great with the Wayne. Cause him Uncle James. That was another thing. The Wayne's not allowed to call him Uncle James. Ken, it's like, what the fuck, man. So I would come home and I'd phone him and I'd probably go and get a carry out for the shop. And we'd sit in and we'd maybe watch the Rangers game or something. Put a couple of coupons on and sit and watch the football or something. But it was great to have the company to talk to and unleash all these emotions. Ken, it's even when we would either head up the woods and get a fire. They times are when you can get rid of that anger. You can sit the way we're sitting right now and just belt it all out to somebody because they're there to listen. They're in your company because they're interested in what you have to say. They're not just with you because they're sitting with you for nothing. They want to see what you've got to say and help you. Yeah. So me and James done that all the time. We'd go camping and that. We'd still do it. We'd do it 2 or 3 times a week. We're away camping.
The thing is, with everything that you say to your pals or you say to me the day, you're not just telling me, you're telling yourself. You're getting it out, and it's the shoulders are lighting a wee bit. You'll drive down the road different to you drove here.
I was driving up here. As I say, I was about
and it's all swimming probably.
I'm
going to say this, and I'm going to fucking say that, and I better remember this, and I better remember that.
Well,
see when you go away,
feel good.
Aye, exactly. See all these wee squares in here. They're a different story for everybody.
Mate, it's like
and by the way, I'm not keeping a hood yet.
No.
I'm going to wrap it in a wee ball and take it down to that lock and fucking chuck it where it belongs, mate.
See you inviting me up here, the two of you. I was driving out this morning and I'm going, this is the time I can get rid of all the anger eventually. All the way up, and as you say, your brain's fucking going in overdrive, and I'm sitting going, but I'll need to say this, I'll need to say that. And then I thought, no, Kim, fuck it, just say everything. Get it all to fuck and get it all out my system. Because see, when I'm driving down the road, you have been like a therapist.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? And this is
that drive home will be completely different.
And this is a fantastic thing that you're doing. And we, the two of us sitting here, we're just trying to get a point across, not to us two, but to other guys out there in our situations.
To talk.
Aye, to get out there and go to the pub, sit with your mates. Don't go down the route. Don't go down the route of sitting your cell and building it up. Like we said before, get it out. And my mates were fucking excellent for that. I went to Ajax with Big Spence. My brother's big.
Tell your mates, if none of them are listening, tell one or a couple of them that you're struggling. Tell somebody.
Don't sit in your own.
Don't fester.
Like I say, that time I used to come home and Ellis went away. See, if I couldn't get a hold of my mates, I'd be sitting and I'm a guy, I come in from my work and I go up the stairs and I sit in my room. I don't sit in my living room unless I smoke in. I'm a fucking weirdo that way. I put my YouTube on. I don't watch telly.
I'm the same. Don't watch telly. And she'll tell you when they put the fucking telly on, I'm out of the room because it buzzes my brain. I'm like, I'd rather talk to them than listen to the noise in the corner. You know, it's fucking weird.
Pile of shite on it, man. It's fucking garbage. I only watched a telly for 5 years. Maybe
what was on last night? Vera or some fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this nonsense?
I've got tellies in my house, but it's for YouTube. I like YouTube.
Yes.
I like watching I love a serial killer documentary or a crime documentary. I'm right.
There's a telly above your head, and it's only ever YouTube that's on it.
You know, man, that gets me going. So I get into my work and I lie back in my bed and I just flick it on and fucking watch it, Ken. But when the Wayne isn't there, it's a different feeling. It's just an emptiness, a complete and utter empty feeling of nothing. And then I was like in my house and my Aunt Maureen, she stayed in the house for me, but her and her partner Tam, they were moving out because I stayed with my Aunt Maureen for a wee bit too. So my Aunt Maureen was fantastic to me because I was fighting this court battle. I was using all my money into the court. My Aunt Maureen left me a fully furnished house. Right. So I didn't have to worry. She said to me personally, she was leaving me everything because it was to give me the chance to get back on my feet.
Back on your feet.
Because I was skint, man. As I say, I was living out a bin bag of clays at my mum's house for fucking ages, and it was hurtful because everybody else was. My mate Daly, who I spoke about, He gave me a brand new pair of trainers because he felt sorry for me because I had fucking nothing. Right. My mum and dad would have bought me stuff if I asked them. Okay, my mum was buying me like jeans and t-shirts and that here and there, but I never had anything, and it made me feel so fucking low. It was unbelievable because you're in house parties, all your mates are there with a good gear on and that, and you're sitting there fucking jeans you've had on for the past 6 years going. There's
a sense of pride there, you can hear it.
Exactly.
Pride and passion and
So even guys in that situation again, don't worry about that. Fuck that situation. Just focus on getting your son or your daughter. Forget about materialistic stuff. Forget about all your anger issues.
Sell the car. Get the bus. Whatever you've got to do to get through it.
Walk to fucking Glasgow to get your son. As long as you get him, you're showing a judge that you are making an effort. So I was praised for doing that with that judge. Praised by him. So the new one, I was telling you about the new one. I was fighting on my own corner, but I felt fucking great because see when I left that courtroom, I was getting into my motor after gaining a wee bit of time going, you're fucking beauty. I don't need to pay for that. I don't need to pay a lawyer.
That was free.
That was free. So in the end,
the element as well, you're driving away saying, I fucking tell them and I tell them, which maybe isn't the best, but it's still a relief to you. You got it off your shoulders.
That's it, man. And near the end, see if you do this battle. See, near the end of the battle, you're going to start feeling good about yourself because you are fucking gaining. You are making time and you're getting your nights and days and all this kind of stuff. So I was driving down the road buzzing after getting maybe 2 hours I had it on. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you fucking dancer, that'll fucking...
Another 2 hours.
But it wasn't about beating anybody. It was about getting my way in. And I got more time with him. So I'm going down the road, down the A77, fucking leathering it down so I could tell my man Father what went on and see the pride that I got inside myself, telling my mum and dad, and they would be like, oh, you're beauty, Ken. So it came that the judge said to me, he said, listen, this is it, you do need a lawyer now.
Right.
So I've obviously punted that other fucking lawyer away. So I was like thinking, how the fuck am I going to get this over the line? Because he said it was going to go to a proof. Right. And if I didn't get a lawyer.
Right.
So I kind of kind of lot of folk in Glasgow, put it that way. My cousin, he's well known up there, so gave him a phone, and he said to me, give me 10 minutes. So I said, right, okay, David, cheers. So the phone went down, and the next thing, 10 minutes later, my phone rang, random number for Glasgow. He was a lawyer, and I'm going to tell you, this guy I personally think is the best lawyer in Scotland.
Right.
More praise for this guy than anybody. His name was Brian Cooney, for Fleming and Reid in Hope Street.
Okay.
So I've answered the phone, and I said, all right, how's it going? He said, it's a Mr. Cooney here. I heard you're looking for a lawyer, a family lawyer. I said, aye. He said, right, your big cousin's one of my pals. And I'm like, David, you fucking thick bastard. How did you not give me this guy's number at the fucking start? You know what I mean? I'm like, you're a dentic fucking arsehole, you bit. No. So David got me this guy, Brian Cooney. So he phones me up and he said, listen, what is it you need done? So I explained to him, and he said, listen, I'm really busy, but send me $1,000 and I'll see what I can do now. What we've already spent, you'll know yourself, $1,000's fuck all to what we've already spent. So I didn't have
just
it.
another grand, that's all
That's
it is.
it. My mum and dad phoned me and they said, listen, I'm not going to discuss their finances, right? But they phoned me and said, listen, because it was gone in circles at one point. My mum and dad phoned me and they said, listen, you get a lawyer, we'll pay it, we'll get it out of the line for you, which I'll never forget that. And I'm saying it into the camera because my mum will watch this, she'll gaff her nut with my swearing. But they gave me the money to pay this guy. So what we done was, we said, right, it's going to be more than $1,000. We ken that. I phoned that Brian back and I said, listen, Brian, it's going to be more than £1,000. He said, right, I said, I'll send you $2,000 and that'll cover it. So he said that's absolutely fine. Now this is something that's went on for 3 years, right? 3 years.
Wow.
This guy done this court case 2 days and it was over.
Wow.
He basically walked into that courtroom and owned the place.
Right.
And it was over within no time.
Wow.
And I swear to God, see when we went in and out, he was a Celtic fan, that was one thing I didn't like about him. But we walked out, he got me up to his office, and I shit you not, that guy had one browse.
I'm dying to say he got you through some hoops.
Oh, he did, man. But if anybody is struggling for a lawyer, I highly recommend Brian Cooney. Fleming and Reid, that guy was genuinely no interested in my money. Right. Fair enough, he was my cousin's mate.
Aye.
But that guy walked into that courtroom, owned it like that. And within 2 days, I walked back out with, I had won. I had done everything I'd set out to do, and the pressure went off me. And I actually hugged him, and I said to him that, I said, what you doing after this thing? And he's like, oh, I've got to go and do something. I said, fucking forget that. I'll take you into Glasgow and I'll get you absolutely fucking wrecked. That's how happy I was. I was wanting to take this guy out and get him absolutely fucking slaughtered. And he's like, no, I'll get a drink with you one point when I'm with your cousin and that. Yeah. But then I turned to him, this is so funny. I said to him, Brian, hope your team get fucked tonight. They're playing Bruges. But he was the best thing that ever happened. In that full trial, that guy stepping in was just different gravy. Right. He knew how to work this thing, man. And he told me, when I was in his office, he turned around to me and I said to him, how long is it going to take? Kind of a few months of that? And he said, I'll get this done in a couple of days for you. He said, don't you worry. He's like, this will be buying days. And I was thinking to myself, here we go.
I had a similar thing, just while you're talking about that, I had a similar thing where I'd been going through backwards and forwards for about a year. And then I complained, said I wasn't happy, and then the next thing I got moved to a different solicitor person, same company, different person. And that was the same, it was within about 2 days, one visit to the court, I was starting to get access to the Wayne.
Baffling,
and I was like, how the fuck have we just went a year, and yet it goes to somebody else's desk, bang, like that, and it's coin.
That is exactly what you said, and I think, as soon as when you walk into the first lawyer you go to, right, you walk in, see if you tell them what you do for a job. As I said, that fucking arsehole at the back of the register sitting with them, picking away the money signs. See if you don't mention what you do as a job, I think it'll go a bit different for you. The first thing they'll mention to you is, can you get legal aid? Because they're interested. They'll tell you, I'm just helping you get your way, and they're not fucking interested.
The one I went to says, we don't do legal aid, Mr. Hunter.
So it's a fucking costly bastard.
That was what they said to me. Sorry, we don't do it.
Every fucking £100 a Donny Varro, and he's fucking smoking it. Fucking assholes. You got to try and make an enlightenment here as well. We're in this room now trying to tell folk what to do. Yeah, we can only sit and do that. They have to do it themselves.
They have to do it themselves.
There's my fucking phone's rang about 500 times, but it's my mother.
Aye.
So she phoned asking where I am.
Aye.
But,
did you get there?
Aye, that's it, man. It's fucking hell. I'm 37, man. Take the rain off my back. But
so you've went full circle. You went and knew you're across the line.
Aye, man.
And that's how many years?
So that was 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
2.5 years with a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
The first lawyer.
Yep.
1 year on my own.
Yep.
2 days with the last lawyer.
2 years.
That
Right.
guy was phenomenal, man.
So,
I'm talking, that guy is a legend in my eyes.
in your experience, what did he do different to you and the previous lawyer? What was that? Because how is somebody watching this going to know where? Because the way they strung me out was letters.
Aye, well,
fucking months.
well, he phoned me and said, "Listen, I don't want to send you letters. Come up to my office, sit down and tell me everything you want me to say." So I've sat between me and him, and I said to him, I was like, "Brian," I showed him what she had said about me, right? This is a list fucking that size now, Ken. It was like massive,
But how do you
man.
find that genuine person that will do that and they'll no string it out? Because they're all in this business to make money. Every one of them. Even Rumpole with the Bailey sitting up there with his...
Don't know, man. It's hard. I was fortunate. That was my cousin's mate, but
Aye.
that guy was an honest guy.
Yeah.
Even being a Celtic fan, he was an honest guy.
He was an honest guy. Aye.
He was just down to earth.
Yeah.
He knew.
Because somebody watching this might be down south. He might be in Dundee or Aberdeen, you know what I mean?
That's one thing. The English
How
law
do
is
we
different.
find these different?
So I think when you get there, as I said, one of the biggest things, never give away your income.
Yeah.
Let them try and guess what you make.
Yeah.
Tell them what you can afford as well.
Aye.
Can I get there?
Yeah.
I don't think they can be any shitter if you tell them you don't make much money.
Aye.
Do you get what I mean? Because they've got to get your legal aid, so
Yeah.
they'll always be. They're a lawyer. They've got to be.
Aye.
But I think Brian sat me down in his office and asked me to tell him everything. So
Yeah.
I showed him, you need to record everything.
Yeah.
See, like, for the start, you need to write down things that she's accused you, things that you've done, things that you've not done. You have to have it on file. I was good. I kept on my WhatsApp. So I said to Tony, my pal Tony Bryson, Sean's girl, see what we're doing for the Fitba at the Thursday nights. Tony was in the back with the printer, printing out all my WhatsApp messages, so I had every message logged. So if she tried to turn around and say I was saying something different, oh wait a minute, it's on page 55. I've got it right.
I had to go and get 2 years of phone logs as well off of O2.
Exactly, that's what
because
I'm
I was
saying.
getting accused of phoning and everything. And I was like, and me and her were like, wow, I was with you, I've no fucking phoned.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
So we had 2 years of phone logs, and you can see on it, there was, whenever I was picking up the Wayne, I think it was, like a Friday picking the bairn up, or the Thursday or Sun, or whatever it was, you could see the phone call.
Exactly.
And it was all,
shite,
aye.
I don't know what they've been eating, Ken.
What's that? Aye, even the text.
Well, I show you my message,
That's
my
right.
phone. See when I pull up to get the Wayne now, it's just outside. That's all right. And fair play to her. She's not been bad.
Yeah, fine.
But
yeah.
She
might be fucking bad after this.
Fuck it, I'm not giving a fuck. See, to be honest with you,
have you got it? It's sorted now though anyway, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
I'm gone back to court though.
Oh, are you gone again?
Oh, aye.
Right.
I'm going back for my full whack. I'm
Right.
not stopping now.
Right. So where are you at now?
Right
Because you
now-
went for like a few hours
So right
to
now,
a day or something like that.
Aye.
24 hours. So
No.
where did Brian get you to?
so Brian got me a Tuesday, Wednesday, first week. The second week I get Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
I would have got into the Monday, but my ex came up with a reason, which is fair play. The Wayne's got nursery or
Right.
school.
Aye,
You
aye.
need to take into consideration the
That
Wayne's
they're
got
going to
school.
eventually
Aye.
go to school and
So-
stuff. Aye.
Holidays, I was never allowed to take him on holiday for some unknown reason.
Likewise.
I was never allowed to take him.
Aye.
But we came to an agreement now that I'm allowed to take him on holiday.
Aye.
So I'm going to take him in the summer on a fantastic holiday with his father and his grandparents and my mate James and my brother and that. We're going to take him a really good holiday that he's going to fucking love for the first time.
Isn't it funny though that you could be there every day changing the nappy, every day feeding away and getting them up for breakfast, dressing them and
That's
everything
it,
like
man.
that,
And
and
then
then you
all of a
break up all of a sudden and you're now no good at any of that.
That's it.
I used to take mine to school. She'd be out on the beach with me every day,
Aye.
walk the dogs with me
Exactly,
every
man.
day. Any events that she wanted
That's
to go
it.
to, I took the way in.
Exactly.
And it was like all of a sudden
Oh, forgot.
switched off.
Yep.
Aye.
See,
And they don't seem to take that in consideration.
No.
They just, wait a minute, I actually used to walk this way into school
exactly.
every day. Every day.
This is an annoying
Aye.
thing, I know. And I hope you're listening. See, right now, I still don't know my Wayne's nursery.
Right.
I don't know when he goes to fucking nursery.
Uh-huh.
I have to ask. And see, the last time he was at nursery in Kelvin Grove,
Yeah.
she didn't realise the nursery were emailing me stuff.
Well, they should anyway. They should let you.
Aye.
You should get progress reports as well. Yeah.
I felt like her family, no her brothers, her mum and her were acting as if I was dead.
Right.
That's the way I felt.
Yeah,
I felt like I wasn't alive to them.
Yeah.
So I turned up at a nursery one day.
Yeah.
And all these mothers are all standing, Ken. I've got the painting clays on. I wasn't giving a fuck. It was posh nursery, Ken. A nursery. But it was a Santa Claus meeting. My wee boys saw me. Started going ballistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is only about 2 years ago. And all these women went like that to me. Oh, Ellis, are you Ellis's dad? And I said, I am Ellis's father. And whatever you've fucking heard about me isn't true. Because I knew, because I had never been at that nursery. The shite that must have got spoken about me was unbelievable. You know what I mean? I'm like that. Whatever you've heard about me is not true. So now I want to be involved in my son's nursery.
Yeah.
But that, coming up to Christmas there, was a nativity play. So I've asked to see when it is. Where is it? No answer.
Right.
Never told. Didn't even know the nursery to phone and say, Ken, can you tell me when it is?
Yeah.
So I went to pick him up just before Christmas. Me and my father went up, and the Wayne's singing Little Linty in the back of the motor. Kenny's doing all these, and I said, what are you singing for? And they went, oh, it was my nativity play this morning, Dad. So there's me, fucking steam's coming out my ear. Phone out. Why did you not tell me when the nativity play was? I asked umpteen times. Oh, it was randomly, and my mum just happened to appear at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning to go to the Wayne's nursery. Come on to fuck. You're staying in Glasgow, you're in Kelly. Ken, I was left out. Desperate for folk to think that you bring him up on your own. I'm in his life, and that's it in a nutshell. So I'll get the nursery's fucking name. I don't care what happens.
Aye, I mean,
and I'll be involved.
Yeah, because you'll need to know with school and everything like that. So I mean,
it's a horrible fucking situation.
Yeah.
When it doesn't need to be like that. Ken, I'm talking for other guys. Just
aye. But you can. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
you can definitely. Be involved with nursery, school, everything, because I get it.
Aye.
I went to the school and spoke to them.
Definitely.
They don't want to hear the story. They just, right, what's your name, your address, everything like that. There's nothing in place. They knew all that. There was no visits, no problems. So I now get emails, the parent thing and everything like that every week. And then
I've made it crystal clear that I'll be in that Wayne's life no matter what anybody tells me, Ken. And I've fought hard enough to get him now. And it still feels like I'm hoping she gets better in the future, right? We don't talk. We don't need to talk.
No, you don't. You don't need to be texting her either when it's all set in stone.
I want some correspondence of where my son is, because see, still to this day to day, I do not have a clue where my wee boy is, and that still hurts me to think.
Is that school? Is he at school now?
No, he's in nursery.
Nursery, right? So,
but when I'm sitting,
you should be able to find that out.
Exactly. It's like I don't have a clue where my boy is any day. Any fucking day, and that kills me inside.
Right.
Still to this day, it kills me because I just want to know he's all right. Because how do I put it? When I got anxiety, I don't have anxiety. It was just during that trial, during that case.
It's enough to give you it.
Aye, my father was a fireman, and the stories he used to tell us about house fires and that kind of thing, that scares me because I think I'm no way them. What if something happens and I'm no there?
Right.
You know what I mean? Even when she took me away on holiday, she never told me what hotel they were at. What if something happened at that fucking hotel? Because I would be in the first flight to help her and all, not just to help the way, Ken, but never told anything. Well, that made me fucking feel alienated.
Mine was going on holiday to around Scotland, and she was they were doing a camping tour of Scotland, right? They gave me a list of where they were staying.
That's what it should be.
They won't come to me the next time. I'm just back from Turkey.
Fucking,
and I was like,
no disrespect to you.
How did she get out? How did she get out the country? Because they're supposed to ask for both parents.
Exactly.
There's supposed to be a form in place that you allow your child out of the country, and that's for both parties, by the way.
Well, I had to do that during the court.
Aye.
Wanted to take him on holiday, bleep that.
I will take a time code again. Right.
So I had to sign his passport.
Yes.
But the deal I gave on paper was if I sign his passport, I get to take him on holiday as well.
Correct.
So she's like, oh, that's fine, you can take him. Then I signed the passport and she went back on it and changed her mind, and I wasn't allowed to take him on holiday. And I was angry about that, man.
Aye. Because we took that to I went to court one day, and the rumple of the belly says to me, I'm pretty sure you're not depriving your daughter a holiday. And I said, no, I'm not.
Exactly.
But do you know what? I would rather know where she was going than be told lies.
Yeah.
And I'm asking that I get the same treatment that I'm allowed to take her on holiday.
We're not allowed to take them, Ken.
Exactly.
We're going to take them to somewhere like fucking Baghdad or something like that, Ken, but it sounds it.
You know, and do you know what? I wouldn't even dream of going to Turkey myself. Never mind taking my daughter with me to Turkey. I wouldn't dream it.
No.
You know, it's just too close to too many problems in the world.
Aye, that's another hurdle folk have to get out of the passport situation as well.
Aye.
But I'm trying to think of other stuff that went on during it.
School, you can definitely get in that. If you know where your bairn's going to school, there's no issues. They will actively involve both sides.
100%.
Male, female, dad, mum. There's
you've got the rights. What another thing that was said is, your child has got the right to see their father.
Yes.
It's no your right to see your son.
The child has that right.
Exactly.
It's a European law. We looked up, didn't we?
So,
European Convention law.
With your ex doing that, they're actually fucking taking your son or daughter's rights away from
their
them.
own rights, yes.
So, it's fucking baffling. I just think the court system in this country is getting better, but it's a money spinner.
It is.
Ken, they could do a lot more. They could do it a bit quicker than what they do it. I mean, I went to
But there's no money in that. It's like there's no profit in peace, Peter. There's no profit in peace. That's why there's all these mad wars all over the place.
That's a brilliant way of putting it, by the way. It's like, I went to mediation, and I mean, you'd have thought D-Day was.
I tried mediation.
We went last at half an hour. You'd have thought we were in the same room together with this fucking mediator, and D-Day started. I'm talking. This was a fucking World War battle, man. And the mediator's telling us to calm down. And I get put into one room. Ken, I just turned around and went, "Ken, stick your mediation on your ass. It's not going to work. It's not going to work." But it's like no.
I find, what I find helps me is to channel that upset, anger, and passion into trying to relax. Like, if I feel, no, you've got to turn that off. You've got to turn that off. That's getting you nowhere. That's how it works for me, and it has worked for me in the past. It's just turning that, and then going away and raging and fucking going daft and on my own somewhere or whatever. Luckily, I've had drink for freaking nearly 10 plus years now, so that's no that I know that doesn't solve anything. You can't hide this by using any kind of device to turn it off, because it just comes back louder the next morning. So, but if you can channel the anger into a relaxed position, what you'll find is you get a lot more.
That is it. It's it's angry.
No matter what's flung at you, if you can just, right, I'll take that. It's pissing me off, but I'll take it.
When she was saying shit to me or writing it to the judge, it was gone like that after a while. Just went straight out of my head, and I was like, I wasn't biting her, fuck on. I was just enjoying it. I was enjoying seeing the lies, because I thought, see, come sometime that'll come out in the wash.
Everybody outs themselves, Peter. You don't need to out them. You know.
I started going, show me proof I done that. Prove that I done that, because I've got all the proof right here that I didn't. And if you want, and then it started unfolding. Came what I mean? But channeling the anger, you have to. You cannot. You've got to have a bit of discipline about yourself. And I was brought up with really good discipline. Fair enough. Maybe no absolutely perfect, but I've got really good discipline. As in, see if somebody. I told you the story about the boy in the nightclub. I wanted to tell that story because it's a reason not to hold stuff in. But I've got great discipline when it comes to anger and that.
Of course you have.
I'm as easy as you'll get.
I seen you plucking a pheasant the other day. Now, the discipline in catching that pheasant, although I know they're not the wisest, but you know what I mean, you've had to work on catching it, so there's a discipline there.
100%, man. It's like, how do I put it? You've got to have your bearings about yourself. You get all these idiots that start, they're angry and they're good.
Do this and do that and say this and say that.
Get that side, get that to fuck. Let's be real. Turn that switch off. Be easy going with everybody you get your hands on. Give them a chance at least.
Yeah.
And it's like, talk to folk. If you think they're an arsehole, walk away from them.
Yep.
Don't be in their company. Get yourself out that situation, because see if you're going through court to see your son or your daughter,
There's certain noises you don't need.
Trouble.
Aye.
I was fortunate that clown in the garage was named it. It was only a doorman and a couple of boys that saw it.
Yeah.
That was it. The boy said sorry in the end, and it was forgotten about.
Yeah.
See if you get charged with something, you're in you're in a court battle with your win, you ain't getting nothing.
No, you've just gave them a big paddle to beat you with.
Aye. So you really need to focus on what is best, and the best way is just, if you can have a drink and enjoy yourself, that's fine. If you can have a drink and can't enjoy yourself, don't do it. Focus on getting your child first, and that's the best way. If it's making you feel down, then stop doing it. Anything.
Top tip as well, I would say, butter in, man. I would say is definitely get them off your phone. Unless you need it, you've got to get them off your phone, so that if you do like a bevy, you don't send the drunk texts and don't get angry with certain things.
Never put anything on social media. They tell you that crystal clear. They tell you can't put anything.
Oh, they tried it with us, with me, when I was talking about something at some point, didn't they?
My ex never put anything.
He's posting this
whatsoever
on YouTube and he's posting that on YouTube, but do you know what? I could have been talking about anybody. In fact, one of the ones I did, I wasn't even talking about that situation.
Yeah.
I was talking about something else.
Well, she never put nothing on social media, and she never bothered me, as in wanting to take me back and all that all the time. You get the birds that if you spot with them, they're constantly hounding you. I can't be a woman, but I'm just telling the truth. But they'll hound you, or the boys do it and all. They can't let the lassie move on.
Correct.
They'll constantly. I ken boys. I'm not going to name any, but I ken boys that their exes are trying to move on with their wains. They're getting all the fucking time under the sun. They're getting more time than what I get with my son, but they'll no stop. If they try and go with somebody, harassing them. See that's wrong. When I split up my ex, we just cut ties. The two of us didn't speak. We argued back and front because I wanted to see the Wayne and she wouldn't give me him. That's the only arguments we had. See, after that, I wasn't giving a shit, man, and I was like, I had a good time, put it that way.
Well,
I was out in the town and met a few folk and things like
that. Well, that's it. You're a man.
But I'll never stay with another woman in my life. That's a fact. Never, ever stay with another woman in my life. No, I've been cut to the bone that much and that hard. I never want to be in that situation again with that type of pain. I never want to experience that again.
Doesn't mean you'll not have a relationship with somebody.
Never.
Though. They'll have their house, you'll have yours.
No, never.
No?
Never.
No?
I never want to enter a relationship. I just, the pain I felt going through that from court, I just want to be on my own now and just enjoy it. Don't get me wrong.
Maybe that'll change through time.
No, definitely not, man. I'm happy. I fund myself now. Do you get what I mean? The way I'm at right now.
What do you think of that water?
Aye, that's decent, man.
Fresh off the hill, that one.
It's not a dark fruit, it's right enough. But
that's fresh off the mountain behind you, that one.
Beautiful, man. But I'm just happy with my wee boy. Don't get me wrong, birds text you or you text birds, no, can I? You meet up with folk now and again, Ken. But relationship wise, no, never again. Never again. I can't. Only you in this room will understand what I'm saying. The pain I was going through is different level, man. It was like I've never great. I don't greet or MD, right? But
wait till you're 50.
Inside tears.
Wait till you're 50. You become an emotional fucking wreck at 50. Trust me. It's like somebody switches a fucking switch, man. And you know what? You'll see something outside, and you're like, "Oh, that's pure fucking beautiful, man." Fucking trust me. You think it's bad at 38? Wait till you're 50, boy. I'll guarantee you. There'll be one day you'll be sitting there and a tear will run down your. You'll be like, "That five fuck was right."
I swear to God, man. I'm a different breed that way. You see the tears, but
I'll tell you, wait till you're 50. You ask your own, man.
See the inside tears you get with the pain.
Yes.
The inside pain you get is there's rock bottom, right? I've hit rock bottom 4 or 5 fucking times in my life, Ken.
But you're still here.
Aye.
You know what I mean? You can have as much money in the bank as possible.
100%, man.
And then you can lose all that.
There's always somebody wanting to take it off you.
Aye, exactly. The more you've got, the more they want.
Oh, aye.
Simple.
So, going through this court thing, right, the rock bottom is here. The pain I felt, and a lot of guys must feel the exact same thing, right? Here's rock bottom. I was well past rock bottom. I was at a low that...
It's an indescribable
hurt, pain. anxiety, constantly worrying, constantly doing this. But then I'd go and meet my mates and they wouldn't have a clue. They wouldn't. They knew I was hurting, but they didn't know how deep I was hurting. How inside, lying in your bed at night, thinking, where is
no
my
sleeping?
no sleeping at night. Where's my son? What is he doing? It's a horrible, horrible thing, and that is what we've been saying all the way through this. Is you need to pass that. You need to get by that stage,
and it does get easier. It
does easier, man. It
does get easier
after that time of getting away closer to what you want to get them. Then it starts getting sailing, man.
Like you said, way back, it's the dancing Wayne in the window. When you get there, the performing monkey, delighted that his old man's here.
Brilliant.
You can't, and I get that every Friday. I pick my Ivy up for the school.
Great feeling.
Every time I pick her up, it's the joy, the eyes. You see the eyes open, the arms are out.
Aye. And he's dad. And then he get in the motor and he's like, am I staying with you? And then I'm like, you're staying with me, son, Ken. He said, that's you for the weekend. You're going to have one hell of a weekend. Because I just instantly get him changed and take him right up the woods. And I like him. I like watching him now. He put us about and he does his wee hanging. Then he's asked me. He's asked me if I can buy him a knife, right? And I'm obviously not going to buy him a knife. So what I got him was a striker.
Right.
Which it's great for guys that want to do the stuff that I was doing in my TikTok, but you've got a wee Wayne with you. All it is just a wee bit of metal, like a saw, and you've got your wee flint, and it strikes.
Right. Okay.
So it's great for a Wayne to learn. They're only about £3 off Amazon. So I go to Ellis that and see when he gets it. That's him. He's got it hanging off his wee side. That's him, Ken. Dad, look at me.
So it's just to make the wee sparks into
to get the fire going.
The fire going.
So it's like, and then I'll say, what you want to do? Yesterday. No, on Saturday I said, what you want to do? So he wanted to go down the woods. So I take him down the woods. Then Sunday I got up and he's like, can we go fishing, Dad? And I'm like, unfortunately the fishing season down there is why he's finished. And it's like, I try to explain to him I can't take him fishing. So I just took him down the river. Took him down the river with the rod and let him kind of fling it in and kid on he was fishing. But I take him, I like say in the beginning of March, and I'll take him wild garlic foraging and stuff like that. Ken, I teach him things like that. It's not just about getting fires going. I'm teaching him the map reading. I'm teaching him all the different trees, all the different plants. I'm teaching him also to be nice to folk, because I found that when I was getting him, he wasn't saying please and thank you. Now, I don't know if it was just his age, but I was brought up to say please and thank you, and I always tell him now, must say please, must say thank you, and it's showing now, Ken. I'm just teaching them everything in life. I baked a cake with him the other night there, Ken. It's like, that's maybe something that mums do, but
it doesn't
I'm
matter who does it.
Mrs. Doubtfire now, Ken, what I mean when I get him. But I baked a cake with him because that's what he wanted to do. And it's like...
It's when he walks into your ex's kitchen. Oh, look, Ma, I've got us dinner tonight. We get stripped and everything, you imagine?
She didn't like that, but she didn't hate me doing it. She never bothered me doing things like that, but she did not like anything, because I brought back a haunch of venison once to the house up in Kelvin Grove, and I walked in the door and her and Mother, and it was quite funny, and I walked in the door, big leg of venison, dripped me the blood, dumped it right in the worktop, and the two of them were screaming. They're hiding in the living room. What the hell's that? I'm like, it's a bit of a deer. And came when I got that deer. I was doing a job for one of my customers, and she had ploughed a deer down, man, and taken it home. And my father used to work for us, and me and my dad went in, and the woman said she had phoned the council to come and collect the deer, and I was like, just cancel the council, we'll take it down the road. So we took it home and strung it up and cooked it, man. And I think I had a bit of that. I think I still had some in the freezer about a year ago. That was delicious, man.
Memories, eh?
That was great fun.
How old is he, Wayne now?
He's 4.
He's 4 now, right?
He's 8.
Because I've noticed there's a couple of things on TikTok.
So
and is that okay? Are you getting any beef over that, or is it fine?
I get beef over anything, man. If I fart at the rang way, I'd get beef. You know what I mean? No matter what I do, it's going to be rang.
It's going to be rang,
So I just do it. No, it's like every time you get the book, right, we have to contact each other through a book.
A book.
Unbelievable. 2 adults.
That's a new one.
Having to write a book, right? So
is the book go in the bag with the Wayne or something?
Aye. Right. So open the book up.
At least that's something. I'd settle for a book.
She doesn't badmouth me on the book because the book can be read.
Yes.
Get what I mean?
I'd settle for a book. We've not even got a book.
Oh, fuck.
And I've not to communicate or nothing.
Aye, no, it's terrible, man.
Eh? If I got a book, I'd never see it again. Get what I mean?
Man. No, we were
That's bloody good. I'm going to try that.
That is a great way of doing it.
Go try it.
Because we don't. Well, I've seen us arguing weeks now on the book. Ken, like she's wrote something, I'm writing something back in an argument. Ken, like fuck. But what I fun is, it's like, what I don't like is a lot of do's and don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that. And I just write back, this is my time, Melis.
Yeah.
You don't get to tell me what I do with my son.
It should be an information thing about them and what's going on with them.
Well, recently,
rather than what you can and can't do.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was just as bad. I was just as bad as writing things to her as she was writing them back. But recently, the book, I've not filled it in.
Right.
Because I think the Wayne's old enough now to tell you what he's done.
Right.
Get what I mean? Right. So, but she wasn't writing anything bad now. It was just the Wayne's maybe no well or the mate. But I don't know if you had this yourself. Sometimes it was always the Wayne wasn't well when it was your time.
I get zero communication.
Oh,
I get nothing at all.
Aye.
My Wayne tells me, that's it.
Aye.
Ivy tells me, or in it it's an absolute.
Old enough.
It's like talking to
that way to be honest with you.
It is in that respect. I'm happy with that, but the difference is, I wouldn't be communicating with her socially. It would be about the Wayne, purely about the bairn. Nothing else.
See, we have got a massive. We're like yous. We have got a massive hatred for each other.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't hate you anymore.
Aye.
I've done what I said I was going to. I'm done what you said I could.
I've never hated this person. I've disliked and hated the process that I've been pushed through.
Aye.
Because there was no need for that.
Yep.
I've no hatred for the person.
That's it.
You know,
disappointment. That's what I had.
You know, it's about the bairn at this point. You know what I mean? At any point, we were done and dusted before we split up anyway, so what did it matter? You know what I mean?
It's sad,
just
man.
Don't pour it onto the child, you know, don't...
Oh, I get that. I get that.
Just crack on.
When I go to
do what you've got to do with your life. I'll do what I've got to do with mine. The only time we have to meet in the middle is to pass over that bairn.
1,000,000%. You don't even need to talk to me.
Don't even need to talk.
Just acknowledge the
fact. I pick the bairn up at the school, drop her off at the close door, and...
See, I have to drive to where Ellis is now, up in Glasgow, and pick him up and drop him off constantly. Doesn't bother me, but I would like for sometimes for her to come pick him up. And over the past few months, I've only asked her once to do it, and she done it with no problem. There was no.
I wouldn't even get that. I'd get to check your lawyers thing, check your this, check that. I mean, we had it the other day where, do you want me to pick the Wayne up at 9 or 12?
Oh, for one.
Ask the Wayne says 9 o'clock, and I'm looking at my form, I'm like, I'm sure that says 12. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong form. Oh, see the barrage of emails back.
That's terrible, man.
About read this and read that.
And then there's some fucking arsehole sitting coining in letters.
What was that? Get help to understand the forms.
That's fucking hell, man.
Do you know what? I didn't care. I'm like,
bullshit, innit?
Fuck,
at one point,
it just goes whoosh.
At one point, I was getting that many letters. It was the fucking Reader's Digest.
Yeah,
I mean, every week it was coming in another letter, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my god, what have I done now?" Cracking it open, it's this and that, and it's like, "Oh, I better send an air one back." And fuck me, the lawyer's letters are a pure con.
Yep. It's just wasting money on both parts. And if you're using legal aid, when it gets to that stage, you're wasting the government's money. You know what I mean?
For folk going through it, try and cut the letters back.
Yeah.
Get to court, get in the courtroom and do it. Don't let somebody dictate what you're doing. You tell them what you're doing. Don't ever sit back.
That is a very valid point. If anybody's watching to this part, it is 100%. Get it into the court.
Oh, aye.
No, I'm not writing letters backwards and forwards. No, we're not going to. They will tell you that any judge or any solicitor will. What is it? All right, I'll.
You want to take a break?
What time? What are we in? Fucking hell, man! That's like time travel, eh?
Is that too much?
No, that's perfect. It's time travel.
Oh,
we just need to get them all watching it. So what we got to do? Take a break now, or? What?
I need a toilet anyway.
You need a toilet, right? Right, well...
Take a break, then down here half an hour, then I'll head down the road.
Right, okay, before you go, so what we'll do with this part is, just hit the button now, the bottom right-hand corner. Aye. And we'll just talk our way out of this one with a wee jingle, and then I'll get you to do a part and comment, and then we'll come back. We'll do a wee segment about the bushcraft. I'm saying bushcraft. I was a jambo. But we'll talk about that and why I was supported Hearts and stuff like that.
I like their stadium's good, man.
Aye, but see if we come back for half an hour and do the outdoor stuff, the survival stuff.
Aye, because
part and comment to your camera. What do you want to say to any guy watching this or just listen to this? A final part and comment.
Never give up your fight. As hard as it can get, never give up, and always talk to your family and friends. If you don't have any family and friends, go online on social media. There's groups you can go to. There's certain things. And as low as you're going to feel through this battle, because you ain't going to get out of this battle quick. This is going to last a few years, and you're going to feel worse as it goes on. Keep in there. Don't give up the fight. Just make sure you keep plodding along and go for it. Do not stop. Think about your Wayne spending time with you and how much they miss you. Know how much you miss them, how much they miss you. Keep the fight.
Well said, sir. And I'll just say, if you can't get anywhere with that, there is various other platforms out there that will sit down and listen to you. But if you can't get Pistol Pete on TikTok, you've got the Fly Fifer TikTok, Facebook, whatever like that. And I'm just going to say the struggle's real, but there's light at the end of that tunnel that you've heard me mention a few times. Where there's dark, there is always light.
Here.
Adios, amigos. Thank you.
Perfect. And that's us.
That's that part anyway,